What's up, everybody? It is Wrestler Wednesday, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Masters of the WWE Universe Goldberg Heroic Human Jackhammer. And as you can see, he's kind of modeled after Ram Man. But the cool thing about these figures, it seems as if you take off their Motu accessories, you got yourself a pretty standard version of the wrestler. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at him on the card. Really cool box, kind of basic, and these cards are pretty thin. But we're going to be tearing him right out of here anyway, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference. On the back of the card here, we've got this cool little picture of Goldberg, kind of like Ram Man. He's got his little battle axe here. It says, many superstars of WWETERNIA have tried to take down the hero they call Goldberg, but all have fallen. There's only one question for future challengers. Who's next? You can collect them all, and you can see in this wave we have Goldberg, Kane, Ultimate Warriors, and Stephanie McMahon. He comes with the axe, twist into power battle positions, and that's about all we get. It looks like he may also come with a helmet, which is not really on his head right here, but he's got a little bag of goodies in the back, so more than likely that's where we're going to find that helmet. Let's go ahead and get him pulled out of the card and take a closer look. Well, we don't want to rip his little comic book. I like that they're putting these comics in here, kind of like a little homage to the old vintage style or the origin style Masters of the Universe characters. It's got the little cross cell on the back. It feels real thin, so let's go ahead and open it up and just take a quick look. The bottom's a little taped together, tore a bit. So there you got to look at the inside. I guess we don't really have a big old comic. It's just a little blurb here explaining Goldberg, maybe giving you a little bit of insight onto him. Says he is 6 foot 4 inches tall, 285 pounds. Superstar power, can smash through anything or anyone. His jackhammer armor is the foreign object. So pretty cool little comic there. I guess I was expecting it to have a little bit more, but you get what you get. Now, as we take a look at Goldberg here, it looks like he's got a band on his ankles here and bands on his wrists. I do not have scissors with me today, so we are going to be band breakers. We can go ahead and pull this extra little accessory pack out of the back. And are those bands those bands? They are. So it looks like we should be able to just slide his hands out. Hand number 1, hand number 2, and then his feet will just slide out the same way, and we can set that off to the side. Alright, so there is Goldberg. I'm going to go ahead and put his accessories on him, get a couple of his friends up here with him, and we'll go over his articulation and tell you what I think about this guy. Before we take a look at his friends, let's go ahead and look at him with his articulation and armor independently. I don't want any of the other guys getting jealous. Those are just WWE superstars. They did not come with any of this extra armor or accessories like the axe. So we're going to go over Goldberg in his WWETERNIA form, and then I'll break him down to his regular wrestling form, and we'll bring in some wrestler buddies to just kind of contrast, compare, see what may be the same from this line and what may be different. So as you saw from the beginning of the video, he did not have a helmet on, so he does come with this removable helmet, and I like that. It does just slide onto his head. A lot of the figures, the helmet is like kind of planted on there. I'm glad that they didn't do that with these. So with the helmet on, articulation not bad. He can look to the right, he can look to the left. The helmet does kind of slide around, so I'm going to pull it off just so we can see a little better, but you know it does fit and he can articulate with it. He can look all the way back, and he can look all the way down. Some of the things about the facial features here of Goldberg, I don't think it's the most accurate representation of a facial feature or face that we've got. He just looks a little bit off to me. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think Goldberg has maybe a thinner face than this. This is a little bit rounder in the cheeks, but that's all right. So looks to the right, looks to the left. He can do the full 360 spin. As far as his arms, they're pretty stiff, With the armor on, it looks like that right there is about as high as he's going to be able to raise his arms. He does have a swivel, but the armor is preventing it from going up any higher than that. That does seem high enough to swing the old axe, though. And we will probably check out that articulation once we take that armor off, because I know some of you might just pose him as a wrestling figure. When it comes down to the elbow, we do have a single jointed elbow that is hindered by this right here quite a bit. We can get up to about 90 degrees, but that's all. It looks like the little gauntlets are extra, so they should be removable. The hand will spin 360 degrees, and it is on a hinge, so it can bend in and it can bend out in case you need to do that for posing purposes. Let's go ahead and pull the axe out of his hand as well. And look at his midsection here. We can turn all the way around. Classic Goldberg trunks with his little tribal tattoo on the back. Then we've got the knee pads here. We've got single jointed knees. And again, the knee pad just kind of hinders it. We got a little bit of quality control there on the thigh, but we're going to deal with that. We found that on a couple of these figures. We do have a full knee swivel as well as a full boot swivel. And then the ankle rocker works as you would expect. And it will also turn all the way around. All right, who's next, buddy? Let's get his stiff arm down. All right, so now we're going to pull out. We are going to go ahead and remove the rest of this armor. We're going to bring in some of his wrestling buddies, compare and contrast, see if maybe they reused some of the parts or not, and give our final thoughts. All right, now here are his buddies pulled in to hang out with him, and we'll take a little bit closer look at this armor. So it does just have two buckles on the back. These just snap right through these pegs right here, and that's what holds it on. You can't tell, it blends in perfectly, and it's pretty soft rubber, so it's really easy to get on and off of them. Some of the cooler details that you may have not noticed, where he's got little skulls in here. You can actually see some lacing here together where it's like stitched together. It would have been cool if they did a little bit different color on here, or maybe just a little wash, but pretty cool accessory as far as bringing him into more of a Ram Man style look. And then we did look at his helmet a little bit, but there is a better look at the helmet just so you can kind of see what that looks like. Just kind of a traditional Ram Man-ish looking helmet, and it reminds me a lot of the newer one from Masterverse. We did go ahead and pull those little arm gauntlets off, and again, these pieces should be reusable. If you wanted to stick them on any of these other guys to maybe look like they had some wrist wraps, it looks like Flair here doesn't have any, then that would work as well. These would make good wrist wraps. They don't really look like metal. It looks like they're cloth. They've got some wrinkle in them. So pretty cool little accessory that you can add to any of the figures. And then last but not least, we've got his little single-bladed battle axe. Pretty cool weapon. I believe this did come with another Ram Man figure. It just came with another part of the axe, so you could have like a triple-bladed axe, because I believe this side had 2 blades on it. But he just came with this half of it, and I'm okay with that. To be honest, I will be displaying him in this form as a wrestler with my other wrestlers, because I just feel like he looks best this way. Fits in good. And as far as his body style goes, it's the same bucking body. He's got the same biceps. He's got the same torso. Basically, we've reused all of the parts and just gave him some Masters of the Universe accessories to kind of cross those lines over. And I'm totally okay with that. I think that's awesome. It's combining two really cool things. Plus, it allows you to have some additional Masters of the Universe Origin style figures. Or you can do like me and just get some new different looks for some wrestlers. And Goldberg's a cool wrestler. He came, went, he had his time, but he was definitely a big part of wrestling during my childhood and growing up. He was the man. Who's next was a pretty big phrase, and he was pretty much guaranteed to win if you saw him climbing into that ring. So out of this set of wrestlers, this 5 here, which one's your favorite? I'm probably still, oh man, I'm probably still leaning towards Flair. I'm back and forth between Flair and Honky Tonk Man. To be honest, I like Honky Tonk Man better without the jumpsuit on. I like Flair better with his robe on. I think it just looks like Flair so much. And this just resembles Honky Tonk so much better when he doesn't have the jumpsuit on. But just for aesthetic purposes, I'm keeping it on there. Also, Bray Wyatt, I like him better without the jacket because it shows his tattoos. But I kind of wanted to give you guys a look at what they came with. Other than their sunglasses, this is pretty much what they came with. Honky Tonk did come with a guitar, Hogan came with sunglasses, and Flair came with a pair of sunglasses. But other than that, I think this is a good-looking addition to my wrestling set. We've got plenty more coming. Macho Man, Roddy Piper. We even got a Stephanie McMahon in there sneaking in. So we've got plenty more wrestlers to come for Wrestler Wednesday. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, tell somebody you love them. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next one.